As we are standing at the edge of the most significant structural shift in school education system, while many institutions are treating the introduction of NEP 2020 or NCF 2023 as mere circulars to be read, but they must be viewed as systems to be built. The gap between the policy and classroom reality begins exactly where leadership stops being proactive. Recently, CBSE has introduced one of the biggest shifts in the school education system. But the question is, are the schools actually ready to implement it? Because this is not just a circular change. This is a complete shift in how teaching, assessment, and learning will work inside our schools. Well, today I'm going to break this down for you, not just by outlining what is changing, but by defining exactly what you as a school leader need to start doing right now. Now, if I talk about the changes done by CBSE, there are three big structural pillars, the key changes. Number one, the three language system. And the timeline given for this three language system is that it has to be started from 2026 to 27. It is mandatory for all the students and it should be completed by 2030 to 31. Basically, this three language system, it is structured as R1, R2 and R3. R1, one strong main language, R2 our second language and R3 our third language. Out of these three languages, two languages will be Indian language. Now, talking about this language, this is not just adding a subject. It requires a complete rethink of the timetable, teacher allocation and student cognitive load. This was about the first change. Second change is differentiated learning, the two levels in the subject. CBSE has introduced from class 9th onwards, they have started first mainly focused on maths and science. They have started the two levels in these two subjects. Like, if we talk about science and math, all the students, it is compulsory for all the students to go with the standard level. That is compulsory for all the students. There is another addition that is advanced level for students seeking deeper learning and proficiency in that subject. So that advanced level, why this has been introduced? What is the goal? What is the motto behind this? This is a tool for inclusion, allowing teachers to support different proficiencies within the same classroom without leaving anyone left behind. So this is the second change which CBSE has introduced. Talking about the third change, that is core AI and computational thinking integration. Now, earlier we used to have this AI as the skill subject, but now it will be introduced from 2027 to 28 that it will become a part of the board assessments by 2029. So, we are shifting from optional exposure to a core academic requirement. Means these subjects will be assessed, they will be included in the board examination. What is the objective behind this? We are no longer just teaching technology, we are teaching a new way of thinking. The shift to competency-based education. Now, I have discussed about the three major changes, and as you know, as per NEP, we have to start with the competency-based education. And the biggest challenges for mentors is capacity building. I believe that capacity building training is very important in our schools. If teacher continues to focus on content delivery, while the board, CBSE board, moves towards higher order thinking, skills, and competency-based evaluation, students will definitely struggle. So for that, we have to implement training programs in our school where the teachers will not be the teachers, they will be where they will learn how to become the facilitators. Now, there is also the assessment change. The board is moving towards an 80-mark common paper with a 25-mark advanced section for the two main subjects, that is science and mathematics, where they will be giving the advanced paper to those who want to be proficient in that subject. I think rote learning must be abundant to protect students for future results. Now, the leadership roadmap. What schools need to do? How we will implement these changes? Number one, the strategic mapping and academic planning. Our goal shouldn't just be to wait for the year 2030. No, it should be to act with urgency today. We need to build a year-wise roadmap starting now. We cannot wait up to 2030 where we will reach to the deadline and we will start working in that year. No, we have to start working now so that the time we reach the 2030-31 session, our systems aren't just ready, they should be already thriving by that time. So the second planning is timetable redesign. This timetable should be redesigned in such a way there should be intentional structuring. Redesigning the timetable is to accommodate 3 language and 2 level subject proficiency. Integrate skill-based learning, that is AI, without overburdening the students. Avoid last-minute adjustments. Focus on intentional designs. So this means we have to redesign our timetable in such a way that we will start working on these major 3 changes from 2026 only or 27. Now, the third thing which we need to implement is teacher training and pedagogical leadership, which I have already discussed about before this, that teachers must transit from teaching content to developing higher order thinking. It is not just to teach the content. There should be the curiosity among the students, that they should be curious what all they are learning and they should come up with their questions. That is how we can cope up with these changes. Language teachers must be trained to handle varied proficiency levels within a single group. They should be properly trained because we have the heterogeneous class. Confidence building is essential for staff to manage these systemic shifts, because it is very important that the teachers should be well trained and they should have the confidence that they are ready, they are well aware about these changes and they can start implementing it in the classroom. Then the fourth important thing is parent advocacy. Leaders must explain the why to parents, which is very important. Without understanding the value of these levels and changes, parental confusions will turn into resistance. So we need to make them understand that why these changes are important, and that we can do by conducting the parent meets or by conducting the orientations where we can explain them what is the importance of these changes, why we are doing these changes. Now, the most important thing is consistency over intensity. We need to be consistent. This is a 5-year transformation program, not a one-time workshop. So there should be a consistency. There should be consistency means we should work on these changes in a very planned manner and in very consistent way, so that things will be streamlined and there will be no confusion in the schools or within the parents or within the students, whoever is the stakeholder. So when we talk about this implementation, planning, timetable change and other things which we are going to start, we need to establish a curriculum implementation committee in our school with continuous feedback loops and quarterly reviews. Dear stakeholders, education reform is only as powerful as the leadership driving it. We aren't here just to check the boxes. We are here to build a future. The question isn't whether CBSE is ready for this. The question is, are the schools ready for this change, for this shift? It is whether we as leaders are ready to guide our schools. So, let us lead the change rather than just managing it. Thank you.